Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Steve Collins coming to you from San Antonio, the second most powerful, passionate, purposeful coach and speaker in the world. All right, this is going to be a little bit different format this morning. I had several of my kids doing a little graduation, so I did not do my video this morning, and I'm going to do it right now. Yes, we can have lunch in about 3 months. Maybe. I'm going to help you understand what it's like to be in the mind of top performers, people who are extremely focused, who have very specific goals, so that you can get an understanding of what goes on. There are what are called gatekeepers. One is doing the video right now, Miss Katie West, Miss Trina Reston. We got Adriana Hazelwood. We got Felicia Webb. We got folks. I'm surrounded by people that are gatekeepers in order for me to do what I need to do. So I'm gonna bless you today. I'm gonna show you something very exciting that I hope that you'll enjoy. Okay? Hopefully you can see this and I won't have difficulties with this right here. Okay. First thing I want to show you right here is that you have got to know right off the bat. Got to know what your priorities are. Not only that, you have to know what your values are. Zig Ziglar said it best. Are you a meaningful specific, or are you a wandering generality? If you do not have clear defined values and goals, you're a wandering generality. I don't judge that. You're just a wandering generality, and whatever happens, happen. And of course we can do this and we can do that. Woo! No big deal. Getting your goals hit and crushing them can be a little bit of a challenge. You have to know your priorities. You have to know your values. So let's just talk about mine here real quick so that you can get an idea in my head. All right? They happen to be also Keller Williams. Here's the hierarchy in my life. God, family, business. God, family, business, in order of priority. And so when we talk about order of priority, one of the things that we need to understand is something called the 80-20 rule. Okay, the 80-20 rule is this. Vilfredo Pareto came up with what's called the Pareto principle, and he said that 20% of your activity will produce 80% of your results. 20% of your activity produces 80% of your results. Then Gary Keller wrote a book called The One Thing and said, take that 20% and narrow it down even more to an even more narrow focus by asking a focusing question. What's the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else becomes easier or unnecessary? Let me say that again. What's the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else becomes easier or unnecessary? So once you know your priorities and once you know your values, and if this filled, let's say that was your day, then one of the things that you're looking at when you do this is that you have to understand, first of all, okay, what are your goals? Okay, so if you had goals, let's talk about mine in terms of time. Time with. Okay, so time with God is very important to me. Time with my family is very important to me. Time on my businesses, the real estate business, coaching business, very important to me. This is the order of priority that it takes. And the really cool thing is, he really likes me to spend time with them. So there's typically no conflict when it comes to that. Now, here's what I want you to think about when you're looking at prioritizing your day. And it's the word responsibility. So here's a good question. What am I responsible? Two things. One, for, and two. Who also? Who? Who am I responsible for? Who am I responsible to? There's a difference. You see, the people in this category, I'm responsible for them as the head of the household. And Angela's the neck. She can turn the head any way she wants. Isn't that right, Katie? She can just do it. This is who I'm responsible for. Here's who I'm responsible to. Here's who I'm responsible to. Responsible for. You have to know who you're responsible for and who you're responsible to when it comes to the hierarchy of where you're going to invest your time, because we all have a certain amount of time in the day. So I know, by the way, what my 20% stuff is with God. I know what my 20% stuff is with my family, and I know what my 20% stuff is in my business. For me, my 20% stuff, what's the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else becomes easier, unnecessary, is my 2 chairs time in the morning. Chair over here, chair over there, sit down, connect with him before I go to the gym. You know, I'm up at like 3, I guess it's been about 3:20 in the morning. then go to the gym at 4:20. Spend about an hour listening, connecting, hearing, getting my download for the day. What's going to go on that day? What's the intel? What do I need to know? That's my time with God. That's the one thing I can do, such that by doing it, everything else becomes easier and necessary with God. 20% my family. I know it's most important to Angela, Victoria, Stephen, Ella, AJ, Josh, Christian, Christy, up in Ohio. I know it's important to them. I have studied the 5 love languages. I know each of my different children and my wife, what it is that hits the bullseye target in their heart that says, this man loves me, this man cares for me. The time that I get to spend with them may not be immense, and yet the time that I do spend with them is extremely accurate, and it hits the bullseye every time. I know what my 20% stuff is. I know what my 20% stuff is in my businesses. I know exactly what it is in the coaching practice. It's coaching and learning and growing, and I know what it is in the real estate practice that Christina and the girls do, and that is lead generation, lead follow-up, negotiating contracts, going on appointment, and practice and role play. I know what that stuff is. This takes up your time from 9 to 5, if you will. Okay, now when we're looking at understanding this, there's some very important questions that I have to ask myself. When someone wants to hang out or spend time or visit with me, I have to ask myself this question. Ask the question, is this a have to or a want to situation? Is this a have to, which is actually really choose powerfully because I've already chosen, and when I've chosen it and it's a priority, I have to do it because that's what I do. I do what I gotta do when I don't want to do it so that one day I can do what I want to do when I do it, which is almost today and most every day because I'm doing what I want to do every day. Do you guys follow what I'm saying here? I'm trying to take you here into the brain of why don't he call me back? Why doesn't he get in touch with me? Why don't he help? By the way, in my coaching, my 20%, what I'm doing right now with you in this video, this lovely video, is part of my 20% stuff. It's coaching. You just happen to be getting it for free because I love you and I care about you and I want you to grow and I want you to learn. I don't want you to think I'm blowing you off. I'm not blowing you off. I'm just saying no to many things so I can say yes to the most important things. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So don't get butthurt. I love y'all. I have priorities. I have goals. I have responsibility. I have people I'm responsible for. I have hundreds of people I'm responsible to. I have one ultimate I'm responsible to. And when we talk, I ask myself, is this a have to thing or is this a want to thing? Most of the people I don't get a chance to connect with is because it's a want to thing. This is something I want to do. It just doesn't fit in the schedule that I've got here because I am not a wandering generality. I am a meaningful specific. I know exactly what the plan is. Now, this gentleman right here trumps everything else. He can interrupt my schedule anytime he pleases. And just like a mama in a crowded mall with people talking everywhere, whose baby said, "Mama," she could hear that voice like that. I have trained myself to hear that voice, to know if this is an interruption that I'm to step into or if it's a distraction. Is this a divine interruption or is this a general distraction? Divine interruption, I'm breaking some stuff out of my schedule in this order. Garden variety distraction, bye-bye now. My point, ladies and gentlemen, you're either a wandering generality or you're meaningful specific. Do you want to know what's going on in the mind of the high achievers? Do you want to know what's going on in the lives of those that are big? Do you want to know why you can't get together with them? Do you want to know why there's so many gatekeepers around them? It's because they got a lot of folks they're responsible to, a lot of folks they're responsible for. They know what their priorities are. They know what their values are. They know where their time is best spent. They know what they have to be doing in each of those categories. They ask themselves, is this a have-to thing or a want-to thing? I hope you understand that when you're living the life of a meaningful specific, it's pretty intense and it's unbelievably amazing. Love y'all. Hope you have a great day.